I know I'm not the only one who has wished for an official Vicious Trollop lipstick.
You're a vicious trollop. You're a vicious trollop.
Lorelai.
Sorry.
What if that was a real thing? What if we got Gilmore Girls makeup collaborations? Hi everyone, and welcome to Elle of Lore. I overthink everything, and often that's my favorite TV show, Gilmore Girls. Once upon a time, I used to talk about eyeshadow palettes or other makeup items I wish existed. I'd mock up color stories and concepts and talk about the inspiration for them and why I want them. And of course, Gilmore Girls is one of those fantasy ideas. I know there was a collaboration with Ulta, a store that sometimes ships to Canada but usually does not. Honestly, I stopped checking and only bother if I happen to be in the US, which I don't see myself going there anytime soon, let's just say that. So I missed out entirely on that collaboration. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what I wish existed. Do I need to buy makeup? No. Do I need to talk about fake Gilmore themed ones? Absolutely. Keep in mind that these are not real things at all, they're just figments of my imagination. I'm a dreamer. Alright, so I have a million ideas and it's going to be really hard to narrow it down, so this is just a small selection of my hopes and wishes and deep desires. Let's start with my absolute favorite, eyeshadow palettes. I Am an Autumn was my first thought for a seasonal inspired palette. Think those classic shades of fall.
I am an autumn,
Interesting.
isn't it?
We have Hey There, which is a golden olive shimmer, perfect for autumn foliage vibes. I feel like this is the kind of shade I'd wear while walking under falling leaves, sipping a seasonal latte in Stars Hollow.
Hey,
Babette ate oatmeal, a soft beige with a gentle sheen, cozy and understated, the shade that says, yes, I binge watch Gilmore Girls in my pajamas, what about it?
Babette ate oatmeal.
Next is Cinnamon and Apricot, which is a duochrome, a warm golden brown with a subtle apricot shift. A nod, of course, to Babette's cats.
Wow, cinnamon, writing in style.
What's its name?
Apricot.
Coffee, 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 a deep, rich coffee brown, a go-to crease shade or for the outer corner. Honestly, there could be a whole coffee-themed collection with Gilmore references.
Coffee, coffee, coffee is a saying, like an exaggeration.
Study tree, a dark forest green which evokes quiet study sessions under leafy canopies, academic and dramatic all at once.
My study tree. This is my study tree.
Enscotched, a warm caramel metallic, cozy and indulgent, perfect for watching anything and everything be deep fried.
Scotched.
Ensconced?
Ensconced.
In Omnia Paratus, a dusty navy that can work as both soft matte accent or for adventurous looks, perfect for, well, if you're ready for anything, in true life and death brigade style.
And said the phrase in omnia apparatus.
Pumpkin Hands, another duochrome, a vibrant pumpkin with a golden shift, playful and festival ready. I'd wear this shade year round.
I diced pumpkins until my hands turned orange. I've got pumpkin hands.
And the last shade, 2 glasses of wine. Deep, moody wine red, perfect for dramatic evenings. I knew I wanted a shade like this, and what better to reference than Emily Gilmore?
And I'm going to have 2 glasses of wine at lunch every single day.
All of this would be housed in a simple black packaging. My favorite makeup packaging is really the simplest. I'm an autumn in pretty cursive on the front with some leaves around, a subtle reference to the opening credits. I feel like this would be something that would be a collaboration with NARS, Makeup Forever, MAC Cosmetics. Those are sort of the brands, ColourPop, maybe a little Urban Decay, but basically those are the brands that generally have inspired me and the ones that I kind of go back to. And honestly, I've been a little removed from the makeup world, but that's kind of where a lot of my inspiration came from. So next is something to pair with any eyeshadow look, because I always hate the space black and white takes up in palettes, so why not a duo? A Film by Kirk seems the perfect reference for this. A simple creamy matte black and white. You could use it as a liner, highlighter, layering under other shades, use it to darken or lighten shades. I thought about a full grayscale type of palette, but there's something about just 2 shades that works for me. It's simple, versatile, confusing, and funny, just like Kirk. Another full-size palette would be something fun. I love colorful eyeshadow looks, so why not have the Festival of Living Art palette? I thought a gazebo would be the perfect reference for the design on the palette front with like a frame around it. Stars Hollow is full of vibrant, quirky characters, And then, inside on the right side, imagine a mirror and the palette, so kind of stacked, but a Stars Hollow Festival collage on the left. Instead of images we've already seen, like in my mock-up, we'd have like behind the scenes or never before seen images. So just use your imagination a little bit here. Each shade in this palette is named after or refers to a Stars Hollow event. So Firelight, a bright matte yellow, perfect for recreating that moment when Stars Hollow is lit up during a festival, or just for when you feel like being a literal ray of sunshine. Basket, a tangerine metallic named after the Bid on a Basket fundraiser. Looks like the perfect shade for a fruit that could be included in your basket or maybe even baked into a pie. Madness, a matte teal named after the End of Summer Madness Festival. A little rebellious, unapologetic, slightly chaotic. Battle, a royal violet metallic for the Battle of Stars Hollow. Gotta have some drama.
Yes! And the urge wins by a long shot.
Autumn, a metallic emerald for, of course, the Autumn Festival. It's like wandering through a festival in the woods. Carnival, a neon coral matte for the Winter Carnival. Not a winter shade exactly, but coral is playful and fun. At Knitathon, a bubblegum pink metallic for the Old Muddy River Bridge Knitathon, a shade that reminds me of yarn. Hunt, a bright matte blue for the Easter egg hunt. Remember when Kirk lost the map? We've got Dance, an iridescent shimmer, which reflects pink, blue, and lavender for the 24-hour dance marathon. The more you move, the more the shade reflects and shimmers. And the last shade is Movie, a deep red shimmer for movie night in the square. The yearling again? Why not? I wanted this to look and feel like an art palette, but a mixing palette size and shape may look cool, but would probably be a little bit cumbersome. So I think I'll stick with the standard black rectangular shape for this fantasy. Finally, for my fantasy eyeshadow palettes, a Hep Alien palette. This one was inspired by those jeweled CD cases. How appropriate for a themed palette to look like one of those for this band, right? This would probably be like a peak Urban Decay collab, back when Urban Decay was cool. So we have FTTTEOTD, Follow Them to the Edge of the Desert, a taupe beige with a lavender shift, soft and mysterious.
Yeah, but when we get famous, our fans will shorten it to FTTTEOTD.
We have Meatball Explosion, a spicy terracotta with a sunset pink shift. It's very fiery. I'd dress up like Zorro for an eyeshadow like this one.
Why would those be connected?
It'd be like a dare.
Brums, a rusty copper metallic, perfect for a strong percussion hit, with or without the beer.
I can hit the sticks on those brums.
Great, but what about the drums?
At Sleepy Time, a deep lavender matte. Okay, this is an odd reference, but it makes me laugh every single time. It's when Mrs. Kim comes to visit Lane when she has moved in with Zach and Brian is offering Mrs. Kim a selection of teas, and the line delivery of Sleepy Time is one of my favorite things.
Lap song oolong, orange pico, sleepy time.
Paired with Mrs. Kim's horrified look and her immediately leaving, and I just felt like a dreamy lavender shade just was necessary for this palette. The fifth shade is Wink Winkers, a champagne shimmer with golden sparkles.
Wink Winkers.
You don't have to call them that, Zach.
This is another funny one, the little code for free fries, so why not have a sparkly shade to pay tribute to this? CBGB's, a gunmetal gray metallic. It's grungy, it's classic. Lane was so excited to play there. I feel like she could totally rock a shade like this all over her lid during showtime.
I'm actually gonna be on stage at CBGB's.
I know, but how are you gonna get there?
Oh,
Down a smidge, a cool taupe matte, a neutral must-have. The name came from when Zach had Brian write down his musical idea and Brian can't read music.
Up, down, further down, a little higher up, down a smidge.
Brian?
The next shade is a Mighty Fortress, which is a dark gray matte. Gotta have some bold shades if you're in a rock and roll band or a Christian rock trio. And the final shade is Eternal Damnation, a deep violet metallic. This is what Lane is risking for her rock and roll.
that's commitment, my friends. Eternal damnation is what I'm risking for my rock and roll.
Plus, I wanted something a little reminiscent of her purple wig, a hair dye. These shades are grungy and cool, very Lane. I feel like I would personally gravitate towards something like this a lot. Plus, I'd love to have it on display too. I cut one shade when I was designing the palette because I didn't like the layout, and that was a shade called My Dave, like an electric teal shimmer. Maybe that could be a single shade, or maybe there'd be a bunch of singles named after songs that you could fit into the blank CD case. Can you tell I love ideas? I just can't stop.
My Dave, that's so cute.
Stop it.
Before I go too far off the rails, I have just a couple other fantasy products I'd love to throw out to the universe. MAC seems like the perfect brand to have done a Gilmore Girls collaboration. Honestly, we really missed out by not getting this when Gilmore Girls was originally on the air, but I digress. It would just work so well within their universe with their packaging. I thought a reflecting light highlighter with a little dragonfly embossed on it would be so pretty. Dragonflies are one of my favorite subtle Gilmore references, and the song Reflecting Light, when Luke and Lorelai dance at Liz and TJ's wedding, it's just so lovely. And a highlighter like this would be understated and playful and romantic. I can picture it catching the glitter under fairy lights. They've done stuff like this, MAC. I think of this one with the seahorse on it all the time. One of my absolute favorite products to look at. And what about an I Smell Snow blush? MAC has had holiday products with snowflake shapes embossed, so I thought I'd take that and turn it into a blush.
I smell snow.
I Smell Snow is such an iconic and frequently used reference. To me, it makes the most sense as a blush, and Lorelai always has such a pretty flush out in the snow. I am not a winter person, but Lorelai always makes me want to romanticize snow in colder weather. And, of course, we need a couple of lip products. I really want a lip gloss set in a Luke's tin. So you would have vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and toasted marshmallow, which directly refers back to the pilot.
Lip gloss.
I love when we get that little makeup talk between Rory and Lorelai right at the beginning of the first episode. And what a perfect group of glosses. You'd have a vanilla, a sheer gloss with silver sparkles, chocolate, a deep brown gloss, strawberry, which is shimmery pink, and toasted marshmallow that's got gold and bronze shimmer. So imagine a simple metal tin, the Luke's logo on the front, and inside there's a menu with the list of what glosses are there. I thought of those standard glosses, you know, the ones that you have to unscrew the lid and there's a brush, but I think like a Juicy Tubes-esque sort of style may be more fitting. I couldn't decide. I just kept going back and forth between what I thought might be the best thing for this little tin. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really think it is the tube style. I think that fits this dream vision more. And yes, finally, of course, lipstick. Vicious Trollop. The dream of every makeup and Gilmore Girls lover alike. Vicious Trollop, for those of you not in the know, and I thank you for hanging out with me for this anyway, was a lipstick owned by Lorelai that her mother also used. It's such a great episode. There's the rub, Lorelai and Emily duo dynamics, and Rory and Jess in Paris, and this fictional lipstick. I feel like it was inspired by the likes of NARS. Lorelai definitely seems like someone who would enjoy those names, and I thought a bold, vibrant crimson pink with warm undertones would best match the Vicious Trollop name. The second lipstick is Double Date, which is inspired by Viva Glam 3 and the episode of the same name. This is also a great episode, and it includes an actual reference to Mac's Viva Glam.
Rory?
What?
Viva Glam! Bring it up!
Now, I controversially don't think it was the original Viva Glam that was used on Suki. The original version was very red, and in the show it looks more brown-based, and it makes me think of Viva Glam 3. 2 is a lighter shade, so I count that one out altogether, and Viva Glam 3 was released in the year 2000. I always go back and look at timing and dates for these kind of things, so I just want to see if it fits, if I'm thinking it, and it does, so I do think it was Viva Glam 3 that was used. So when I was dreaming up my lipsticks, I thought a deep, sultry plum shade that leans a little bit more towards wine tones would be the most appropriate. And the final fantasy product, for now, the third lipstick, Stand Still, inspired by the first Luke and Lorelai kiss.
You just stand still?
This shade is a soft, romantic rose pink with muted undertones. All of them would be satin finishes, and I'm torn between MAC and NARS packaging for obvious reasons, so why not both? Well, now I'm mad that these don't exist. Come on, Amy Sherman Palladino, you're my only hope. All I want is another sequel and some lipstick. That's not too much to ask, right? Seriously though, this was so much fun to dream up. I spent way too long thinking about these products and working on these products. My God, my Photoshop shop was tired of me, let me say that. So would you be into any of these products if they were real, or do you have even better ideas of your own? Because I'd love to hear from you. I have my notes app open and I'm ready to make it happen. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out in this little fantasy world with me. If you had fun, don't forget to subscribe so we can spiral together over more Gilmore-inspired chaos and nostalgic pop culture. And with that, I'll talk to you soon. Bye!